Here we are in troublesome chapter 28, the crown of pride of the drunkards of Ephraim. We may ask ourselves, was Isaiah speaking of Ephraim in his day or ours? And the answer is yes. Remember, the risen Lord said that all things that Isaiah spake have been and shall be. In other words, all that Isaiah said would happen shall happen sometime after the Lord's resurrection. And Nephi clarified when this would be in the last days. And he said, "The prophecies of Isaiah shall be of great worth unto them in the last days, for in that day shall they understand them." So even though some of this happened in Isaiah's day, all of it will happen in the very last days. Verse 1 says, "Woe to the crown of pride, to the drunkards of Ephraim, whose glorious beauty is a fading flower, which are on the head of the fat valleys of them that are overcome with wine." In other words, woe to Ephraim's crown of pride. Their glorious beauty will be a fading flower. These are strong words, especially for a people who consider themselves the covenant people of Israel. How can God call this latter-day people, a people with great promises, a fading flower? But of course, there's more. He also said these people will become drunkards, overcome with wine. In Isaiah's day, people did drink wine, and some of them, including their leaders, did get drunk and even satiated themselves in debaucheries. In our day, many in covenant Israel don't actively strive to keep the commandments. But it would be wrong to say that their leaders engage in drunken revelries. They simply don't do that. But there are two other problems here. One, Isaiah was specifically prophesying of a certain period in his timeline, which we haven't arrived at yet. And two, Isaiah was, of course, speaking metaphorically. In the timeline, Isaiah is circling back to a point in the very last days, after terrible destructions have ravaged the land. This occurs in chapter 5, which is fairly early in the timeline. This also corresponds to a prophecy that the Lord gave us for the last days, after destructions and warfare have afflicted the people, when some leaders begin to lose faith. He says, "But if that evil servant shall say in his heart, My Lord delayeth his coming, and shall begin to smite his fellow servants, and to eat and drink with the drunken, the Lord of that servant shall come in a day when he looketh not for him, and cut him asunder." According to the Lord and Isaiah, a time will come when destruction and warfare will cause at least some in the covenant, including leaders, to lose faith and give up on the Lord and his promises. These compromised leaders will then cause further destruction within the covenant. But as mentioned, Isaiah is also speaking metaphorically here. So what could the wine represent? People can be drunken by many things. Alcohol, yes, but also wealth, power, and success, to name a few. From what Isaiah says here in chapter 28, and what the Lord says in Matthew 24, it appears that all of this is intended. But remember too, that Isaiah pronounces his woe not just upon the drunkards of Ephraim, but upon their crown of pride. It'll be pride that brings them down, their unwillingness to wait upon the Lord when it looks like he is either delaying his coming or not coming at all. So what will this woe be? Verse 2 makes it clear. "Behold, the Lord hath a mighty and strong one, which as a tempest of hail and a destroying storm, as a flood of mighty waters overflowing, shall cast down to the earth with the hand." This mighty and strong one was and will be the Assyrian tyrant. In Isaiah's timeline, he was first prophesied of in chapter 5. He is the tempest of hail and a destroying storm. As Isaiah says of him later in the timeline, "Behold, the Lord bringeth up upon them the waters of the river, strong and many, even the king of Assyria, and he shall come up over all his channels, and go over all his banks, and he shall overflow and go over. He shall reach even to the neck." This tyrant and his armies are the flood of mighty waters overflowing the land, even to the neck, which means to the capital. And when this happens, Isaiah says, the crown of pride, the drunkards of Ephraim, shall be trodden under feet. And that's when their glorious beauty shall be as a fading flower. That's when the pride of Ephraim becomes like the first ripe fruit before summer harvest. He who sees it devours it the moment he has hold of it. This also refers to the tyrant, who will indeed devour the land and its people the moment he has hold of it. Remember, these prophecies shall be of great worth unto us in the last days, for in that day shall we understand them. But hopefully, we'll understand them before they come to pass, before our crown of pride is leveled and trodden under feet of men. Next time, Isaiah shows how the righteous will experience wonderful blessings at the same time in the day of the Lord of hosts. I'm Curtis Taylor with the Words of Isaiah.